Welcome to this Sunday evening live where I'm going to be doing some mixed media stuff in my sketchbook. Now I have prepared all my materials for this evening, ready for a nice relaxing... Oh, hang on, my iPad is on, so I just need to turn that down so I can see the live chat. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying that I'd set this live up and I thought I was so organised. I sent out a post on the community page. I've got all my art materials ready. I sort of know what I'm going to do. And then just before I went live, I realised that the date was wrong. So I'd put down the 12th of May and actually it's the 11th of May today. So I think I'm here talking to myself, but I guess it's all good practice. And when the live is over, all I'm going to do is post it onto my channel anyway. So hopefully when people turn up, you'll be able to hear me okay. I've got no one to clarify that for me. But anyway, I'm going to crack on anyway. And if anybody joins, that will be lovely. Maybe if you do join, you can let me know in the chat that you're there. Let me know where you're from and if you're going to be joining in. So anyway, I'm going to chat away to myself and see what happens. I guess it's a good experiment, isn't it? So I have got my Pith Oro Blanco sketchbook this evening because I am going to do some swatching. I have got the Shuttle Art Tempera paint sticks. I've wanted these for a while. I originally saw an artist called Helen Cryer testing these out, and when I went to buy them, they were sold out. So I've waited a little while for them. They're actually paint sticks, they're gouache paint sticks that are for children. They're not meant for adults. But why should the children have all the fun? But I thought they would be good for mixed media in a sketchbook. They do dry quickly, so that's good. You don't have to add water to them, although you can. Hi Angela, nice to see you. I've been talking to myself for the last few minutes. Reason being is I put the wrong date on, so although I was very organised, I was a day ahead of myself, so I've started. It's just going to be a relaxed session this evening. I'm just opening up these Tempera paint sticks. If you've used them before, let me know in the comments. So these are 20 paint sticks. They are pastel colours. There we go, look at those lovely colours. Aren't they gorgeous? They're like lipsticks. I don't know which one to open first. Let's go pink. Pink's my favourite colour. So take the lid off. And there they are. And then at the bottom there, you do the windy thing. And up they pop. So I'm going to swatch those in my Pith Oro Blanco and see what the colours are like. I have got some Faber-Castell gelatos. These are the iridescent colours. So I don't know how they compare to those. We'll see. Hello, Paula. Thank you for joining me. I thought I was going to be here talking to myself because I put the wrong date on. But I'm here chatting away and people are turning up, so it's nice to see you. So I'm just going to start with some gentle swatching. If you've got your sketchbooks and your art materials with you, you can join in too. This is just going to be a chilled out session. It's Sunday evening. Well, it is for me anyway, depending on where you are in the world. Maybe you can let me know where you are in the world. Now, the only thing about doing lives is that you have to have the phone in portrait. And normally when I film my videos, I do it in landscape. So portrait doesn't fit so much in. So hopefully you'll better see what I'm doing. Just finding a page. Here we go. Maybe if I do it that way, you might be able to see better. Okay. So let's see what the consistency of these are like. Like I say, they're meant for children. But when I saw Helen cry using them, they look so much fun. So they go on really nicely. Yeah, and they feel like soft pastels. I don't know what they're like to blend. They don't leave much residue on your finger. And I wonder if I grab a paintbrush, whether adding water I don't think they're oil-based. Hang on, let me have a look. They are gouache, I think. So they're water-based. So no water and brush needed, just open and start painting. Quick drying, no leaks, no drips. You can enjoy painting without worrying about smears and smudges. Washable and easy to clean. No longer worry about any paint stains. Interesting. Work great on paper, cardboard, canvas, wood, glass, ceramic, wall, mirrors. Walls, definitely a no. If you've got children, the last thing you want them to be doing is doing their artwork on the walls. Posters and more. They say they're water soluble, non-toxic and acid free. And it is literally like taking a lipstick out of your cosmetic bag and drawing on paper with them. Now that is a gorgeous colour. Sort of a lilac-y, purpley colour. Nice sky blue. I think these will be great for layering up on landscapes, which is what I hope to do with them. The key to mixed media is the layering. So I always tend to start with, oh, I don't know why I did two there. Why did I do two? This colour looks pretty close. Anyway, what was I saying? Layering. So I always start with watercolour or gouache as a base, and then I'll tend to go over with Neocolour 2s. We've got a white here. Oh, that's pretty opaque. That goes nicely over the top of the blue anyway. I'm sorry you've got my arms and hands in the camera, but filming this portrait is hard. I don't know how many colours they do. But I am absolutely loving these colours so far. And I think they'll be good in your sketchbook because they're quick drying. So when you close your sketchbook, there's nothing more annoying than your pastels or your crayons transferring over onto the other page. So I don't think that will happen with these. Oh, look at that nice sunny yellow. And I just love these sort of peachy colours. Just such happy tones. They are just gorgeous, and they are relatively inexpensive. So I've listed them in the description below. You can get them on good old Amazon. I am affiliated with Amazon, which means at the end of my videos in the description I always put the links to the materials that I use. This doesn't change the cost to you, but what it does mean is if you click on that link, I get a small amount. And when I say small amount, it is a small amount. I don't get given anything for free. So there we go. What do you think of those? They are nice. Yes, I agree, Angela, but I don't do portraits. I can't. I've never attempted it. I think if I did a portrait, it would be quite scary. So you can layer over the top with different colours. They layer quite nicely. There is a first time for everything, you're right. I have tried to draw faces before. I was told that I could probably do spirit art. Don't know if you've ever heard of that, where you can connect with somebody that's already passed over, and you can intuitively draw their faces. But yeah, I don't think I would do that any justice. Right, there we go. So I'm going to do a quick landscape, and I've already pre-printed some pictures off. These pictures are royalty free and I usually get them from Pexels or Pixabay's the other favourite for me. This is a Cornish beach. I don't know where. I think it could be Perranporth, but I'm not entirely sure. And then I was looking at some aerial photos on there, and these are salt plains. I don't know where, but look at the colours on here. They're just absolutely gorgeous. So those photos are taken from above. This one here, you can actually see the vehicles driving down the tracks, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I've got a sort of quick landscape here just for a warm-up. But which one do I do? I'm going to do this one. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to just do this one. Now, what I think I'm going to do is grab a charcoal pencil, and I'm going to do this in the Pithora Blanco because it's nice smooth paper. And I think I've probably got all the similar colours. So I'm just going to do a really quick and loose sketch. This is a Derwent charcoal pencil. And so just looking at my reference photo and going straight in. We've got some headland here. Like I say, it's not going to be completely accurate. We've got another rock here. Another rock here. I don't know if you've ever been to Perranporth Beach, but it's just lovely. When the tide goes out, there's loads of lovely rock pools. And where does the sea go? So the sea's coming in from here, sort of at an angle. Like so. I'm holding my pencil really loosely. And then shall we put the rock in there? Yeah. Let's put the rock in there. Well, that sort of looks like it, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put my picture to one side because I want to try and look at my swatches, and I'm literally going to just get some colour down and see how it looks. So I'm going to start with the sky, but we haven't really got a grey, so I'm going to go with the sky blue. These paint sticks, I've just had a thought, these paint sticks haven't actually got names on them. But I guess children don't need names, do they? They just like to have the colours that they want. So this is like a sky blue, and I'm just literally going to get some colour in. Now, they don't really blend, but I wonder if they dry really quick as well. So when I go over with the brush like that, it's not doing a lot. But hey ho, just get in there and have some fun. Hi Joanne, thank you for being here. There nearly wasn't anybody here because I put the wrong day on. So I was nearly here talking to myself, but you know, I'm used to talking to myself. I'm just testing out these tempera, don't know how you say it, tempera paint sticks. They are for children, but I've seen other artists using them, such as Helen Cryer, and I thought I need to try those. But when I went to order them, this was a few months ago now, they'd all sold out, so I think everybody had the same idea. So I think the charcoal actually is mixed in with the sky a little bit. That actually looks quite nice. Quite like that. Cool. Right, what next? Should we go with the sea? So, oh, thank you, Angela. I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I guess that's all part of the enjoyment, isn't it? It's more about just playing in our sketchbooks, not caring about the end results, just getting in there and creating art with children's materials like a child. They've got it so right. Do you not remember creating art as a child? All you cared about was the colours and the making the marks. It didn't matter about the accuracy. It was just how it made you feel. Oh, the charcoal has bled into the sea. Never mind. Never mind. Who cares? I do. I say who cares? I do. This is why I started keeping sketchbooks, because of just to, it's you want perfection and you're not going to get perfection. Just not going to get it. And in hindsight, maybe the charcoal wasn't such a good idea. Right, sand. Sand. We've got some nice sand colours. Shall we go with the peachy one? Is that the peachy one? Because sand isn't all one colour, is it? It's lots of different colours. And here comes the charcoal again. Note to self, don't mix with charcoal. Why did I do that? Hey ho. Hey ho. Now they're quite thick, so, you know, quite sort of chubby, so you're not going to get detail with these. It's literally just about getting the colour down. Let's go pinky. Let's go crazy and do some pink. Beach comes right up here. They do layer over each other very nicely. Now, that colour, I've already used that colour. I think I'm going to go Neo colours for the cliffs. Now, have I missed a bit out there? No, I've just done a random odd. Right, what have we got here? Van Dyke Brown and Umber. Let's try that, shall we? So these are now going, I'm now going in to do the rocks. And I just love these Neo colours. They are my go-to art material. Ah, interesting. Mediterranean. Well, I love it down in Cornwall. I don't know what it is. It's the energy. It's just gorgeous, and the sea is just clear and clean. I think my favourite place is Sennen Cove. Oh, there goes one of the pastels. Does this look cliffy? Not sure. Not sure. Right, what colour's that? So this is just mark making, pushing quite hard on the Neo colours, because I could do with a darker tone down here. Okay, thank you Neo Colours. Let's go with some green. Is it this green I want? No, it's not that green I want. Is it this green? Yeah, let's go with a bit of that. These are great fun to use. They really are great fun. Not sure it looks anything like the picture. Maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. Are we always so, artists are always so self-critical. Other people don't need to criticise our art because we already do it for ourselves. Hi Linda! Thanks for being here. Hope you've had a good Sunday. I'm just using Tempera sticks. They're children's paint. They're gouache, they're water-based, and they're drying super quick. But so far, so good. This is just literally, it's not semi-abstract, it's just loose. I think we can overuse the term abstract because hopefully when you look at this, you can see what it is. It's not so abstract that you don't know what it is. I'm glad I'm making myself laugh. I think I'm liking this. Oh, apart from the fact I keep dropping it on the floor. I'm not liking that. Right, how's it looking? What do we think? So far, so good. Who used to say that? Joanne, you'll know who used to say that. So far-y, so goody. Am I just showing my age now? Christopher Wiggins, yay! I'm showing my age, aren't I? Christopher Wiggins. Safari, so goody. Right, Neo Colour 2s seem to go nicely over the top. There we go. Do I need any over here? Not really, I don't think. But I still go ahead and do it. Get a bit on there. little grassy knolls on top of the rocks. There we go. On Safari was the show, I think. Oh, was it? On Safari. I know it was a children's tea time programme, wasn't it? And he was always dressed up as was it a zookeeper? Like he was going on safari, I guess. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm not going to get bogged down in the detail. There's the photograph. And there's the art. So that probably took me, what, 20 minutes? Just having some fun in the sketchbook using the Tempera lipsticks, I want to call them. But I think they're great to have for your sketchbook art. And that white goes really nicely over the top. Very opaque. Right, so that's my warm-up. I think what I'm going to do now is a semi-abstract. The sea looks good, I think, Angela. What do you think? I think that's the sky blue I used. And because you can keep going, layering over the top. And I could keep on going. It's like fiddling around, but it does look a bit like, it's like Ibiza Sea. And that has dried already, not too much mess at all. Nice. Right. Yeah, the foam's come out well because that white stick is quite opaque, so it layers really nicely over the top. So I'm just going to move this painting aside, or this artwork aside, and I'm going to do an abstract piece now. And I've never done abstract before, really. Now, what have I done with the box? I'm going to put these away. Whenever I do a live or whenever I've done a video, I always show my desk at the end of the session, and it's literally like someone's come in and had a rampage. So look, I've put those away nicely. And I'm going to put that on my shelf for now. Now, I'm just going to turn the camera very slightly because I want you to just see all the art materials that I've gathered this afternoon. I've got Derwent Intense pencils, I've got Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils, I've got a couple of Polychromos, I've got Daler Rowney acrylic ink, which I need to make sure I shake properly. I've got some Posca pens, and I have got things here to make marks. So I've collected these items throughout the day. That's just a vitamin lid pot, lid to make marks, water bottle lid. I've got a straw, don't know what I'm going to do with that. I've got a skewer stick. I've got some white Posca. Because I thought what I was going to do is a painting. Now, depending on how this painting turns out, whether I like it and whether you like it, if you're subscribed to my channel and you would like this painting at the end of my live session, leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you write Purple Ladybird Art in the comments, I know that you might want to receive my semi-abstract art. I will post it out to you free of charge. But I guess we want to see what it turns out like first, right? Now, I explained earlier on, if you weren't here, that these are printouts. They're from Pexels or Pixabay, but they're actually aerial photographs taken of some salt plains. I don't know where, but look at that. I just love the colours on here. So this is why I've gathered up all my art materials, because I think I might use this as inspiration. I'm running out of room here. I have got my watercolours. These are Winsor and Newton and Daniel Smith. I've got them listed here. This is my go-to palette for in the studio. And I have got a little box here that has got items in from Jackson's. Jackson's do lots of, well, they do open stock, so you can buy singular items of things. So in this box is some gouache. This is Naples Yellow Italian. This is Juan Brilliant number 2. I have got Rose because I just love that pop of pink. I really wanted a gouache buff titanium and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I think Daniel Smith, from what I can decipher, is the only one that does buff titanium gouache. So I've got some of that. I've got Coral Reef. This isn't gouache, this is watercolour. And I have opened this already and it literally popped and went everywhere. And this is expensive paint, so nobody needs that. This is a Wisteria. Now, I saw this paint on Katie Moody's channel. I don't know if it's a new one or, you know, whether she just had it as part of her art haul, but I saw it and thought, I've got to have that. I've got a very big Liquitex acrylic marker, so I'm not sure how you get into this. But this is a big chunky foam nib, so I'm going to use that. I have got a golden yellow Neocolor 2. I've got a Sahara, Juan Sahara. I've got a salmon. I've got a jade. That I thought that would be really nice for seascapes, especially the Cornish Sea, and the turquoise green as well. Won't necessarily be using those tonight. I've got a Holbein watercolour, which is Payne's Grey. Might use that tonight. And I've got, these are called Food and No Souk God, I just mullered that name. Fudanusuk brush pens. These are for calligraphy really, but I thought they'd be nice for drawing or outlining. So I'm going to keep out, just looking at this, it's when you do an abstract, it's using, I guess, complementary colours. I'm going to keep those out. And I know that's watercolour, but depending on how you use it, that could go down quite nicely. I'm going to keep, am I going to keep that one out? I think I've got a Payne's Grey in my watercolour set. I'm going to put those with the rest of my Neo colours in here. And I might need my rose pink Neo colour. I might use the mauve. I might use the scarlet. I've got a bronze there. I've got a russet. What else do I need? That's black. I don't think I've got a Payne's Grey. Do they do like a Payne's Grey Neo colour too? They must do. If anybody knows the answer to that, let me know. And that's a Van Dyke brown. So I'm going to leave those colours out. Ah, there's some blue. I can see some blue in there. So let's have, I really want an indigo, but maybe a Prussian blue would be quite nice. Right, if you're still with me from the beginning, don't feel you have to stay. I'm literally going to do some abstract art. You can either just have me playing in the background, waffling on, or you can get your sketchbooks out and join in. Now, I want to, how do we start this pen? Let's grab right, this is just a bit of scrap paper. I tend to keep pieces of scrap paper in a pot on the desk because it means that you've got something to swatch on. So this is fluorescent pink, my favourite colour, water-based acrylic. Shake well before use, press down nib several times and replace the cap after use. So I'm just going to put the cap on and give it a shake. I'll try and do it away from the microphone. All right, I'm going to push that down. Let's see what happens. Here we go. It's coming through. Look at that. So exciting. Does anybody else get excited about art materials? I guess there's worse things that you can be addicted to. Here we go. Right, it's coming through. Oh, yes. Wow, that is not a disappointment. Look at that. Audrey's just joined me in the studio. I don't know where she is. I can just hear her rooting around, normally rooting around for some food. I've also got a big Posca, not quite as big as the Liquitex one, but that's in beige. Is that dry? Nice. Audrey says hello, Joanne. I don't know where she is. Like I say, I can just hear her. Oh, I can see her. She's eyeballing me from the other side of the room. I fed the birds earlier, and she's just obsessed with going out to hoover up the grass. Okay, so the paper I'm going to use is, I'm just going to wipe my hands. I think I'm going to go with some Daler and Rowney Aquafine. This is 300 GSM. It's hot pressed A4 and it's smooth. So I think I might tape that down onto my board. To keep it flat. Yeah, the fluorescent pink is a lovely colour, isn't it, Joanne? Absolutely love it. Okay. I've got some blue masking tape, so I'm just going to take this to the board. Can't actually see what I'm doing. Depending on how this semi-abstract painting turns out, I'm going to be giving it away to one of my subscribers. So if you like it and you want it at the end, leave me a comment, put purple ladybird art in the comments, and I will randomly pick a subscriber and I will post it to you free of charge. And the inspiration for it is this, the salt plains. I don't know where they are. I will put it in a card frame for you. I'm not going to frame it, but I will put it in a, what do they call them? Somebody help me. I can't remember what they're called. A mount. I will put it in a mount for you. And hopefully it will look something like that. Okay, now then, I've got my watercolours here. I'm not going to use any charcoal, that's for sure. I'm going to use some gouache. Gouache. How do we say it? Now I'm going to mix up some paint. But I don't really want to get paint on there. Bear with. I'm just going to get a piece of copier paper. To go over the top. Not that it really matters when you're doing a sort of semi-abstract mixed media piece, because I guess it's all part of the painting. Right, I'm going to put, well, look at that. I'm going to put some colours in. I've got some white as well, so I'm just going to mix a palette. So my first layer is going to be the gouache. I think that's quite bright. That's too bright. I don't like that. I like the colour. I just don't think that's the right shade. I've got cadmium red here. Ooh, that's a bit juicy. The binder's coming away. Now I think I'm going to struggle to get the colours I actually want. Oh, that's quite good. Quite like that. What happens when I do that? Now, where is my sprayer? I've got some lilac. This is watercolour. And I'm going to mix it with a bit of white. Now, if I go a bit quiet, I'm sort of concentrating. Okay, I think I'm going to put in some burnt sienna. Let's have a look and see what this... Is that too bright? No, quite like that. And that is a bit bright. Right, I'm just going to start painting. So I'm looking at my reference photo, but it's just a guide. I love using gouache in this thick way. Now I've gone quiet because I'm just sort of in the moment. There's nothing to really say apart from I'm just getting a base layer down. I'm not copying the reference photo. It's just sort of, I guess, an intuitive process. So this is just the base layer, and then when that dries I will start layering up over the top. And I guess the good thing about gouache is if you don't like it, you can just paint over the top. Especially when you're using it as thickly as this. Okay, I'm just going to leave that layer to dry, which could take a while. I might just get my heat tool and give it a blast. I wonder if I could turn the sound down. Right, hang on just a second. Okay, you should be back on now. Okay, so this is the base layer. The base layer is always quite frightening because you look at it and you think, oh, I don't like it. It goes through an absolute ugly stage and you think, how am I going to come back from that? So you just have to keep going, to be perfectly honest with you. This is where you can start layering over the top. I'm not liking these brown splodges. I just, you sort of have to, like I say, keep going. So let's think about this now. So I've got some inks over here. I've got a muted grey, I've got titanium white, I've got a muted green, which I don't think will go with the palette. I've got some sepia. So let's just have a little play with this. I'm just going to grab some clean water. So I've got a clean jug of water. What I did forget to do was put some wax resist on. I was going to put some wax resist on up here, but never mind. We will carry on. So let's have a little think about this. Do I want to go fluoro, or do I just want to go normal pink? This is where you need to start just sort of building up the layers, trying to enjoy the process. I'm just trying to get this marker to actually work. So I've got that colour, I've got that colour, got that colour, but I must admit I'm not really loving the brown. But I think I might get some sepia on there. Okay. This is a stage where, you just have to play with your art materials and just, try and enjoy the process. Enjoy the process if your ink actually came out of the tube. Out of the pot would be nice. See, I didn't want it to do that. That's just left me with a big splodge. Going back over the top. Right, let's try again. Again, I didn't want that big splodge. I don't know if you can see my head in the camera. I hope not. Right, okay, so gradually you can build up with the mark making. I don't know how I'm going to disguise this. Where's my bottle top? You can just make expressive marks on the paper. Doesn't have to be anything, it's just how you feel. Try this one. It's knowing what marks to make as well. It's feeling pressured. When you're live, you're under a lot of pressure. All I'm trying to show is that you just chill out. Do whatever marks you like. You can even dip into the ink dip into your ink. Like so. Put it straight onto the paper. And it looks nothing like the picture. But that was just initially there as a rough guide to just play and have fun. I don't like this bit here. I think I just splattered myself in the face. It's a good job. I'm not on camera, isn't it? Because you would have found that hilarious. Right, let's go fluoro. Whoa. Not sure I like that. Oh, my Posca pen's just leaked. Oh my goodness. How did that happen? Did I push too hard? There's like paint everywhere. Oh gosh, I don't know if that's a happy mistake. Oh my goodness, what a mess. What an absolute mess. That's literally gone everywhere. Okay, it's not a lot I can do about that. Okay. I think I'm just about to leave it there because I'm sort of, you know, done with it. It's I must admit I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it at all. But I gave it a go, right? I gave it a go. Look at the splats all up my arms. That's acrylic ink. That looks like I've got measles. Luckily I haven't got school in the morning, otherwise I could have probably got out of it. Okay, I'm just stepping back. I don't know what to do with it. I've sort of come to the end of the road with it, I think. Do you know what I mean? Anybody out there? Is anybody out there? It's knowing when to give up. I've had some fun. I've demonstrated some materials. Hopefully inspired you just to have a play. But I think I'm done. Right. I'm going to give it a quick dry off, so I'm just going to turn the sound down. Okay, so I've taken the tape off, and I guess with a piece like this you could end up sort of stepping away and coming back to it at a later date, because you come away from it and then you start to see things that you want to continue sort of faffing with, if that makes sense. And I think these things sort of evolve over time. And I think you could probably go on and on. And now I'm going to stop. That the Posca didn't come out very well. So, as I always say, I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it by any means. But the question is, oh, did I have fun? Look, I've gone right over the edge now. Not literally over the edge. Over my edge. There was really no point me putting blue tape round, was there? Because look now what's happened. But you can find that you can cut these pieces up as well, and you could make them into bookmarks, or you could make them into little cards. I've just put bright pink there, so I don't really want to put my bore down. But you know, we all have to start somewhere, and I think it's good to demonstrate that we do all have to start somewhere. So thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you've had a nice chilled out evening. I haven't even used my Neo Colour 2s on here, so maybe I will. And that's it for this evening. Let me just show you my desk. It's tradition after a live or after filming. Look at this. Absolutely annihilated. Audrey's now in her bed. There we go, look at that. That's the sign of a good time. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I've had a really lovely evening. I hope you have too, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you for watching.